In a game called Animal Crossing, it's only natural to expect animals to make up a big part of the experience. Throughout the series, we've been able to befriend a wide variety of little critters who bring excitement to our lives in a new town. To me, the villagers should do some incredibly important things for the players. First, they should be a source of friendship on the island. Through conversations, gifts, and favors, we are able to grow and nurture our relationships with each villager. Second, they should bring life to the experience, whether it's their behavior around the island, how they interact with the world, or even just their visual aesthetic. They ground the reality we inhabit and make it more believable. Since these animals are such a huge part of the game, I think it's important to discuss how well I feel they were implemented in New Horizons. New Horizons starts by bringing a completely new concept to the move-in process. Players set off to their new home, but instead of befriending the locals like previous games, you and two other animals are the founding members of your own island. The three of you are going on this journey together, and this actually does a lot to make you feel connected to them. You all have the shared experience of moving into tents and living off the land. You all build your lives together, and eventually you move into full homes. Unfortunately, once your moving companions upgrade, their homes don't really improve. In fact, the first 5 villagers on your island all have set templates based on their personalities, and very little can be done to improve upon their spaces. This feels like a real missed opportunity for the game. We've already seen the first 2 villagers upgrade from tent life to a home. That did wonders to make players feel like you were all growing and progressing the island together. Imagine if they were able to expand their homes, add rooms, remodel their interiors, customize the exteriors, and build on their personalities. It felt so sad that they stopped short and didn't keep the concept growing. We've made connections with these animals and we're basically left with little incentive to keep them, unless we're okay with having them live in homes that don't fully capture their personality. I guess that brings us to their personalities. Conversations with the villagers are the main form of engagement that we get. While I know people have a huge problem with the villager dialogue, I'm actually kind of a fan of it in this game. I think I happen to have a playstyle that allowed me to see a lot of interesting conversations around my island, from characters having conversations with each other to other quirky things they say when you visit. There's actually a huge range of dialogue you can experience in this game. Where the problem arises is that players have a hard time finding that dialogue. Villagers are programmed to feed you the same basic lines of dialogue when you first greet them every day. They'll either give you a quick hello, comment about an activity you did yesterday, or mention a recent visitor or another person living on your island. This is true for nearly every single villager you run into at first. Unfortunately, this made it so players saw a lot of repetitive dialogue, especially if they had multiples of certain personalities. We get it, you saw us in a dream last night. Because the dialogue was so repetitive, players missed out on what happened after revisiting villagers multiple times and later in the day. I think the developers tried their best to recapture a real-life experience through the dialogue. Fortunately, my style of playing was ideal to experience the dialogue. I'd log in first thing in the morning, speak to all my villagers, and give the quick morning hellos. To me, that first piece of dialogue is the small talk before you get into the big talk later in the day. I'm busy doing my dailies, so a quick hello feels nice when starting my day. Once I'd return to the game in the afternoon or the evening, this was when the villagers would open up. Because I already greeted them earlier in the day, they knew I wasn't as busy and could chat with me a bit more. I've had a lot of great conversations with my villagers because of playing this way. They're engaging, tell funny stories, and even ask your opinions on a variety of different topics. You could talk to them more, and they would sometimes ask for favors, helping you complete that Smile Isle Nook Miles goal. Overall, I feel like the dialogue isn't the problem. It's the way you have to play the game to find the dialogue that is hard for players. For anybody only checking in once and finding no incentive to talk to your villagers at all because of the repetitive dialogue, it's going to be hard for them to discover the friendships I was lucky to find in my villagers. The next form of interaction is gifts. While your friendship level will increase when you first speak to a villager, it'll get a huge boost from the right gift. I tend to enjoy gifting clothing and native fruit, but I do occasionally find a piece of furniture that works well with their homes. The biggest incentive for gifts is getting a photo from your favorite villager. While most players avoid giving gifts that will replace items in their villagers' homes, there are easy ways around that while working toward a photo. While friendship is a huge part of the experience, the life villagers bring to your island is also important. I look at this as their behaviors, interactions, and overall aesthetics. Villagers are more expressive than ever in New Horizons. They zoom around, sing songs, research the local wildlife, exercise, eat donuts, and sit so we can see their cute little toe beans. I find their activities around the island to be quite adorable, and you can always find a good photo moment when walking around. As far as interactivity with the island itself, this is a lot harder to pull off. You can put benches around your island, but you still catch your villagers sitting on the ground next to those benches. A lot of the decorations can go unused on the island, and it makes the experience feel emptier than it should be. The biggest example of this is when villagers are fishing or bug catching. They'll never catch a single bug or fish and just give up if you wait long enough. While the behaviors are cute, the lack of interaction they have with the world around them makes it feel more like a diorama or model that they were walking through. But my goodness, they look good doing it. New Horizons is truly the best villagers have ever looked. Their aesthetics have been greatly improved with the new HD renders. Even villagers I didn't care for in the past look amazing. I remember the first time I saw them with sleeves, my mind was blown. Gone were the days of tank tops in the winter. We're able to give villagers t-shirts, sweaters, dresses, hats, and accessories. There are endless combinations of clothing to help make our villagers fit our aesthetics perfectly. So this gets me to obtaining villagers. There are 3 main ways to get villagers: random move-ins, villager hunting, and amiibo. I'm a real old school Animal Crossing fan, so I'm kinda partial to the random move-ins. I prefer to be surprised with who moves in and meet new friends. I've just played the game for so many years, this fits my style best. For others who don't like that, this game is the easiest it has ever been to obtain villagers you want. While amiibo can be used freely to get almost every villager in the game, the matter of availability is a huge issue. It is expensive to get amiibo cards for every villager you want. With them out of production, that price is only going higher. This is especially sad for the Sanrio characters. If somebody is unable to get those amiibo cards, they have virtually no chance at getting them to move in. Fortunately, there is villager hunting. You can spend Nook Mile tickets to find every single villager in the game except the Sanrio villagers. Of course, this all depends on how many Nook Mile tickets you have and how long you're willing to search. But it does give every player the ability to find those most wanted villagers without spending more money. As far as the villagers go in New Horizons, I'm pretty happy with them. I think there are a few drawbacks that can dull the experience, like getting better dialogue is difficult for the vast majority of playstyles, and their interactions can leave the world feeling empty. But when you're able to get your favorite villagers, unlock their deeper dialogue, and dress them up just right, it's really hard not to be charmed by them. Thank you so much for tuning into this review of Villagers in New Horizons. For more Animal Crossing and Nintendo content, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye!